Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another video on the Porsche Cayman K-Swap. It's the new year now. We haven't really touched the car since before the Christmas break, but it's time to start working on this car again. So I'm here at Eric's shop and we are working away at still figuring out how best to create the subframe to fit the K-Series in this Cayman. And in the previous videos, I think we basically solidified the fact that we are going to put a Honda K-Series engine and transmission in this car. We are not going to bother trying to put the Porsche Cayman transmission with the Honda K-Series engine because it just simply won't fit. The issue trying to do the K-swap with the Porsche Cayman transmission, if you go and bolt the Cayman transmission up to the K-Series, is the engine is just simply too long. You end up having this portion of the engine sticking into the passenger compartment of the car, and you have to cut the firewall, and I don't want any of that. Basically, the approach that I took on my 911 was I did not want to cut the car in any way whatsoever, and I want to take the same approach with this Cayman. I basically want this to be a bolt-in affair so that a normal person who has an engine failure can buy this kit, bolt everything in place, and they get their car up and running again. So, all that being said, what we're gonna have to do is create a new subframe for this car to allow us to bolt a Honda K-Series engine and transmission into this car. The current subframe that's in here just simply won't allow that, and that's kind of what discouraged me at first taking on this project, because basically the subframe is completely in the way of what we want to do. So I guess the best thing to do is to create a new subframe. So what we've done, obviously, is we've already removed the engine and transmission, the drivetrains, out of the car. When we did that, we had also removed some of the subframe. And what we've done now is put the subframe back in, just the subframe on its own. And everything's bolted up and tight, and the plan is to remove the subframe now and basically lock it in place. So all the suspension pickup points are fixed, and we can use those original locations to go about creating the new subframe that we need to create, because the issue is replacing the subframe. We have suspension locations that have to be maintained. We have spots where the original subframe bolted to the unibody or the chassis of the car. So we have to work with what we have and find a way to create a new subframe that will allow us to retain, obviously, the factory suspension mounting locations, bolt to the car in the original spots, but then hold this Honda engine and transmission in place in this car. My idea is that once we've created that subframe and found all those locations, that we will use something along the lines of like this Hasport engine mount kit to actually hold the engine in place, so that you guys can basically just buy this subframe, find the engine that you want, buy a set of Hasport engine mounts, and it'll all be a bolt-in affair. So that's kind of the idea that we're going with right now. It may change over time, but I think that is going to be the best approach to make this all work. So I technically didn't do any real work on the car over the holidays, but I did do a lot of work off the car, let's say. My friend and I came by the shop, and my good friend Roy, who I've known for a long time, he has a 3D scanner. And what we actually did was we 3D scanned the engine bay of the car and captured all the pickup points of the car so that we could use those when we go to designing our subframe in CAD. So what we did was, there is a few spots to pickup points, like the original engine bolts to the chassis here, and then the subframe mounts over here, and the subframe also mounts over here, and same on both sides. So we captured all those with a 3D scanning tool. And then we've also scanned all the subframe pieces independently. But today, what I've done is reinstalled the subframe, bolted everything together, and that will allow me to capture the actual relationships between everything. So we have all this data to help us create the CAD files that we're gonna need to be able to manufacture this subframe. So yeah, super cool stuff so far. It is very early on in this project. I know you guys are probably very interested in seeing this project and these videos progress quickly, but this is gonna take us some time, and I know you guys are eager to see it. I'm eager to see it, but there's a ton of work and a ton of stuff that we're gonna have to do that just won't make for good content. But I am gonna try to create as much content as possible while doing this. But anyways, all that being said, it's time for me to pull the subframe out of the car as one piece. And once it's out, maybe it'll help illustrate what I'm trying to get at. All right, guys, so Porsche subframe out. This is the Cayman subframe. And this is what we are going to have to recreate. And this, I guess, this is gonna be the key to making this swap possible. Basically, the plan is to recreate this using the original locations, but modifying it in a way that will allow us to have the clearance that we need to put the Honda K-Series engine and K-Series transmission in this car. Because as this sits, there is all these clearance issues with this stuff that's right here. So we're gonna redesign this with the clearance that it needs in that area to allow us to fit the K-Series. Additionally, this will also provide the means of us being able to bolt the Honda engine and transmission into the car. Along with the front engine mounting location, basically trying to tie all of that together so that we can basically recreate all the strength of this and hold the new engine drivetrain combination in place. So, engine bay without the subframe. It's crazy how much space there is in this car. This engine bay looks gigantic. It is gigantic in comparison to even like say a Honda Civic engine bay. So it's awkward to get to because it's in the middle of the car, but there is actually a ton of engine space back here. So I don't think we'll have any issues doing what we need to do. So like dealing with the turbo or supercharger, whatever you want to do once we've sorted out this new subframe. So yeah, this is gonna be the big piece of the puzzle to make this all work, and it's gonna take a bunch of time, so there may not be some updates for a while on this until I have some really good stuff to share. But since I'm here today and the car is here, why don't I put the car down a bit, and I was gonna talk a little bit about how I'm going to approach the ECU side of things with this car. All right, guys, so with the car down, I can show you in I guess this is the trunk area where the ECU lives and what I have planned for the ECU. So normally, engine in here, wiring harness runs through a hole through here and then connects to the factory DME, is I think what they technically call it, but I'll probably keep referring to it as the ECU here. So I plan on running a max ECU for this car. In my 911, I ended up running a Syvex ECU. The Syvex ECU is amazing. It is insane. It is complete and utter overkill for any of these projects. It's also extremely expensive. I think retail is around $7,000 or something crazy like that. That would just be, spending that much on the ECU just doesn't make sense. The max ECU is a much better price point, and technically it should work in this car, but because no one else has done this yet, we won't know until I try. So my plan is to run a max ECU race. I have the ECU ready to go. I also have a max ECU jumper harness. This jumper harness is technically for a 996 turbo. The pinouts and all that stuff is the same between a Cayman and a 911, but it doesn't really make any sense to run this. I have to do a bunch of rework to make this work. So my idea was I'll just make my own jumper harness. I will take the max ECU with max ECU connectors, not use that, and I have a Porsche original ECU connector, and I'll make my own jumper harness to go in between, make the engine harness so it all plugs in, and then run the max ECU. So that's the plan for now. It may change, but I do think this max ECU will be a really good option for this. It has a very reasonable price point. It's fully capable of doing everything that we need it to do. It can do drive-by-wire, it can do knock control, has a built-in wideband controller, it can keep the CAN bus system happy, and the CAN bus programming on this is very flexible when it comes to working with their CAN programming. So yeah, we'll see how this works with the max ECU. If not, there's a couple other ECUs that would work, but I like the idea of running this ECU because of price point. It's nice to work with, the software is fantastic, and it is super flexible. So from this point on, it's probably gonna be a while till the next update. I have to do a bunch of work to basically designing the subframe to go in place. So I'm gonna try to, I don't know, capture as much content about that as possible and share with you guys the process as we go along. But I don't know what that's gonna look like yet, but I will do my best to share it and just continue working away at this car, because I am super interested in seeing how this turns out. I think it's gonna be very cool. This car with a K-Series and a turbo setup should be pretty awesome. So before I end this video, I wanted to put it out there that I am kind of interested in getting some Porsches on my dyno, so we have some dyno graphs to do some comparisons in the future. Unfortunately, this car came to me with a blown engine and I couldn't put it on the dyno. So what I'm offering is, if anyone's in the Greater Toronto area and they have a Cayman or a Boxster and are interested in having me put it on the dyno and seeing how much power it makes, my idea is maybe we try to arrange a whole bunch of cars on the same day. We can put them all on the dyno, see what they make. It'll make for some interesting data. We'll maybe make video of it. So what I am interested in dynoing is Boxsters or Caymans, S or non-S. Additionally, I'm interested in dynoing some 996s and a regular 997. So a 997 non-S. My car was an S, and I already have a dyno for a 997S. So if you have one of these cars, my idea is I'll try to get a whole bunch of these cars together. We'll make a day of it. We'll do a video. I'm not going to charge anything for it. If you're interested in being a part of this, shoot me an email. I'll put it there in the video and we can try to work something out. So anyways, I think that's about it for this video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.